Okay, so in this video I'm going to explain you how you can make a LM386 integrated circuit work as an amplifier. You only will need a voltage input, a voltage source, 10 kilo ohm resistance, 10 ohm resistance, 0.05 microfarads or something close to it, 250 microfarads or even something close to it, and a speaker. And also, for obvious reasons, you will need the LM386. So in order to make sure you understand how the circuit is going to work, I want to show you how the chip looks like in real life. This is the chip, and you're seeing it from the top to the bottom, and you have your terminals. Each terminal is shown in the diagram and is showing how it must be connected. If you can see here, there's no specific order. We have 6, 1, 8, 5, 7, 4, 3, 2. There's no way we can know how this is working without knowing how the actual chip is working inside of it. So in the terminal number 1 you got the gain, in the terminal 2 the negative input, in the 3 the positive input, in the terminal number 4 you got the common ground of the chip, in the terminal number 8 you got also gain terminal, the 7 is the bypass, which works as a way to unamplify the signal, and the 6 is the voltage source input, and the number 5 is your voltage out. In this terminal we're gonna have our gain 20 in this case. So basically what we're doing here is we're having a signal coming here and it's gonna pass through here, and everything inside the LM386 is gonna make the amplification action. So if we're having 10 millivolts coming from the voltage input, we'll have a 20 times 10 millivolt output, so we can hear our music in the speaker. The main function of the capacitors here is to clean the signal. So we're going to connect as follows. The positive input of the integrated circuit is going to be connected directly to the voltage input, but also we're going to have to put the 10 kilo ohm resistance in here. This is in order to control the volume. This has to be a potentiometer, so we can do that action of control the volume. The terminal number 2, because we don't have a negative voltage input, we're going to connect it to the ground. Also, the terminal number 4 is going to be to the ground because this is the common ground as we know in the chip. The terminal number 6 is the voltage source input, so here's where we're going to connect our voltage source to power the amplifier. We need this. Without this we cannot do the amplification action from the chip. Number 1, as this is the simplest way to amplify their signal, we are not going to connect any gains, neither to the 1 and to the 8. So this is going to stay open. In the number 7, we are also not connecting everything. This is going to stay as simple as possible. And in number 5, as we know, this is the voltage output that we're going to have. This is going to be connected to the 0.05 microfarads and the 10 ohm resistance. After that, we're going to have our 250 microfarads capacitor, and later on we're going to connect our speaker. Now that we know how we have to connect our circuit, this is the materials that we are going to need only for the amplifying circuit. Alright, so as I mentioned to you, this is the integrated circuit, the LM386. Wishing the camera can focus on it. There you go. So this is the front, and I don't know if you can see it, but here is a little gap in the transistor, in the integrated circuit, the chip, that is Yeah, so this is the terminal number 1, as I mentioned. This is the 8, the 4 down here, and the 5. So that is the chip, and this is the closest I could get to 250 microfarads. This is 220. The closest I could get to 0.05 microfarads is this one. It's 0.056 microfarads. This is our 10 resistor, 10 ohm resistor, which is black, brown, black, and this is our 10 kilo ohm potentiometer. Right. So, and some jumpers and cables to do all the connections. Also, we have here the jack input, also the speaker, and for last but not least, the cable to connect to our phone or tablet to the jack. So I'm gonna connect it and then explain you how I did it. Okay, so after wiring everything up, I can show you now that here we have our integrated circuit chip, and as I show you, these are the top and this is the bottom. So the terminals goes from 1 to 4, 4, 5 through 8, like that. So as we said, the terminal number 1 and terminal number 8, we're gonna let that free. There's nothing connected to them. The terminal number 7 is also not connected to anything, and the rest of them are connected as we mentioned before. So this red cable coming from here is the jack port, which is connected to the voltage source, which is going to be the output of our tablet, and that cable in this node is connected to the resistance, the 10k ohms resistance, and the output, which is the middle terminal of the resistance, is connected to the terminal number 3, which is this one right here, that one. And the third terminal of our resistance is connected to the ground, so we can ground everything up and having that connected. And also the terminal number 4, as we mentioned, is connected directly to ground. Is this cable, is the node number 10. And the terminal number 3 is also connected to ground. I mean the number 2 is connected to ground. And here the terminal number 6, which is this one that I'm pointing at, and the node number 9 is connected to the voltage source here, which is the yellow cable and the red cable, which I have a bunch of layout for converting the 120 volts input to an output of 9 volts. So this green cable is the common ground of all the circuit, so this is supplying the ground for everything here. And so that's the input voltage, I mean the source voltage. And here in the pin number 5 we've got our capacitance of 0.056 microfarads. Later on is connected to a 10 ohm resistance, and this node, the node number 10, is connected to our capacitor, or 220 microfarads capacitor, and this is connected to the positive side of our speaker, and then the negative side of our speaker is connected to the common ground of all the entire circuit. So if we turn this on, I mean if I hit play, the music, we are not supposed to hear anything, as you can see. If I reach all the volume, there is something coming out of the speaker, but it's barely something. So what I'm going to do is going to turn on the voltage source, which is this one, which is the one going to the number 6 here, and we must hear something. So this is the 10 kilo ohm resistor. We can control the volume here. And that's it. You got your speaker.